Hey everybody, what is going on? Welcome to one of my Rouslin's opening round 3 ball, a short form video where I go over some of my bets for the week and for round 1, and I'm happy to say we got a winner here on this very short form podcast last week, or podcast video, whichever you want to call it. It's in both forms, so if you're listening to me or watching me, we'll give ourselves a nice little pat on the back there. But let's move on and try and capture our second one in a row as we go and move on to the Wyndham Championship here this week, the last week before the FedEx Cup playoffs begins. It is Sedgefield Country Club, a par 70, right around 7,100 yards, designed by Donald Ross. Not that many stars here to play this week, though. Only 8 of the top 30 are here in the world to compete. DraftKings, you're still playing for $500,000 there, so still a lot of money to be won. FanDuel offering $50K to first for their $9 buy-in. Taking a look at the course, as I just mentioned, it's a 7,100 yarder, par 70. There's 2 par 5s that equate for roughly 30% of the total DraftKings scoring, but a ton of other birdies you see here. Total of 6,011 projected DraftKings points without the positional points in there, which is like almost 60% more than what we had predicted last week. So certainly a high scoring week is in front of us. Now, let's look at some players this week. Tommy Fleetwood playing his 4th week in a row against Brooks Koepka. And Koepka, I don't understand why he's playing here, to be completely honest with you. He's not been playing great. I mean, granted, he had the 2nd place at the WGC, but that was maybe more in preparation of him getting excited for the PGA Championship, where he came in 29th and by all means didn't look that great. So I'm going to bank on Brooks Koepka playing his 7th week in a row or something like that as him not really wanting to be here. And I'll take Tommy Fleetwood plus 110 on that. I mean, the matchup itself, Fleetwood versus Koepka, has gone Fleetwood's way just as much as it's gone Koepka's way over the last little bit. So might as well take the plus 110 and roll with Tommy Fleetwood. Last week, before we move on, brought our record back up to 5-7 as Shane Lowry dusted Sung J M for a plus 105. Also, I went 3 and 2 on my other week-long bets, including Morikawa over Matsuyama and the like. So a couple of other ones there that went my way as I tried to march back to 500. Okay, now we're going to go into our each-way bets, and this is where I nailed my Colin Morikawa call last week, giving me, out of 15 plays, 1 win, 3 top 5s, 3 top 10s, and 6 top 20s. This week, we're aiming to look at a Euro golfer, Christian Bezendahout. That's probably not how you say it. Bezendahout is probably a little bit better there. He is 80-1 this week. Top 5 is 14-1. Top 10 is 7-1. And top 20 is 4-1. I love both of those last ones. It's a very easy driving course. We've already talked about that. And when you need irons and putter, that's what this guy does. So like him a lot this week. William Gordon is my second guy. I'm just a sucker for good quality potential. We just had a top 5 from this guy in a very strong field at a par 70 not too long ago. So William Gordon, 135-1 to win. Top 5 is 28-1. Top 10, 12-1. Top 20 is 6-1. And lastly, defending champion J.T. Poston. I am heading back there this week. His top 20 odds are 4-1. His top 10 odds are 7-1. Top 5 odds are 14-1. And his win is 70-1. All right, now we move on to our round 1 bets and showdown focus. I've got plenty of them out here for you this week. I'm piling on the Brooks Koepka, taking Justin Rose plus 125 against Brooks Koepka for round 1. Remember, this is just a round 1. And then I'm taking Tommy Fleetwood, so 2 characters the same. Tommy Fleetwood versus Jim Furyk. That seemed like an interesting one to me. I'm not going to lie to you. He's minus 139 against Jim Furyk. I'd take that every single day. Justin Rose and Tommy Fleetwood to parlay them. Plus 287 there on the parlay. So like both of those this week. Jordan Spieth, I really should only be playing him in round 1 and round 2 showdown focuses, because then I don't even have to worry about him all 4 days. In fact, I only have to worry about him 1 day. But I'm sure I'll get suckered into playing at least a couple of Spieth lineups, especially on FanDuel, where he's always under 5% owned. I mean, I'll just play him on there and wait until he hits, and maybe he does. It's a major and I win 100K. Hopefully I won't lose 100K playing him until then. But in any case, 9,000 on round 1 Showdown Focus. And Keith Mitchell, who's been playing very well the last couple of weeks. Maybe not very well, but playing pretty well. He's at 7,000. He's also plus 20, plus 225 versus Zach Johnson and Siwoo Kim. All of those are playing pretty well, but still plus 225 on the odds there seemed like a pretty good value for Keith Mitchell. And the other one, I'm going to take Spieth and Rose, both plus 220 and plus 185 there against Brooks Koepka. So why would one do that? It doesn't seem like a lot of a payout. You're kind of hedging yourself. So what I'm going to do there is I'm going to bet heavier on Justin Rose. So Rose is plus 125 versus Koepka alone, and he's plus 180 in the 3-ball with Spieth. So what I do there is something like I'd bet, double the amount on Rose that I would on Spieth and take Spieth as the hedge there. So again, it's not a great positive strategy. I don't like to do it very often, but I am down on Brooks, and they only gave me Rose against Brooks, so this was my way to get Spieth against Brooks. Because they didn't offer it. So maybe Spieth ends up beating Rose as well, which they played together last week, and Spieth, I believe, beat him in round 2 it was round 2. So in any case, that was my way of getting against Koepka. If you don't like Spieth against him, then just take Rose in that matchup of the plus 180. Okay, so that will do it for my 3-ball video here. I appreciate you guys coming in. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what came up there. Again, this is just for fun. I love doing this. It's not just for fun. I'm trying to make money, and granted, my each-way bets have been fantastically profitable. Of course, hitting Colin Morikawa at 40-1 or 35-1, whatever it was, definitely helps the boat there. So, until next time, everybody, we wish you the best of luck on these bets. And, of course, Ben, Riza, and I, live before lock tonight at 8:30. And, of course, my model breakdown coming up right after this. So, thank you for joining my Rouslin's opening round 3-ball, and we'll see you on the other side. Cheers.